Honestly, I think this was a really good watch for so many reasons. First of all, the first episode in particular was a great way to get audiences in. We see Ruth heading out for her revenge, and throughout we're seeing more about her character and the insight into her psyche, which, whilst it is a big thing in this episode, it's also a big thing throughout the rest of the season, which is very nice to see. And in the way this first episode was a way to tease us, the audience, and showing us that this is the level they're going at, and we as an audience need to strap in. Loved it. Throughout the season, we've seen the Bird family dealing with the repercussions of Ruth's actions, that involving Marty having to go to Mexico to look over the figures of the cartel, and upon discovering an error and an attack, he has to deal with the repercussions of a murder by his hands. It's nice to see that he still has a conscience, even with what has happened throughout this entire show. It's quite nice to see. Unlike Wendy, who feels like she is still hungry for control, at times having to take it away from her husband by either stabbing him in the back, metaphorically speaking, or occasionally just going with shady people that he has insisted we should not be working with. When it came to the kids, I will have to be honest and say that I didn't think they were used as much as they were in the previous season. In the previous season, we see Jonah being actively against the Bird family and working with the Snells, but mainly Ruth, and Charlotte being the one that kind of talks to Jonah, but is also with the Bird family. And in this one, I just felt like Jonah was he was more complicit with the Bird family, continuing the continuous lie about Ben and his disappearance, being more complicit, whilst Charlotte, personally, I just didn't think she was used that well for a plot point. There's only one particular time that I think she was well used, and that's when Marty is just letting his frustrations out about his wife Wendy and the control she's having, and just making him feel useless. That's the only time I felt like her character was actually useful. My favourite thing of this particular season is finally getting to see Marty and Wendy crack under the constant pressure of the cartel and the FBI and so forth. With Marty, we see him take out all his anger and frustration on a driver who, to be fair, was being quite a dick. And on Wendy, after losing her children in a custody hearing, she just breaks down and starts to not only self-harm, but then gets herself committed until she could see her kids again. Really intense stuff. When it came to the last episode, I have to be truly honest, I did really enjoy watching it, but I felt like the stakes weren't high enough or intense. And sadly, personally, I wanted to see a particular Bird family being murdered. Not even a particular one, just a Bird family member die, adding to the stakes. And whilst we didn't get that, spoilers, we did get a great character die, that being Ruth. When it came to Ruth and her development, she rose highly, as not only after getting her revenge, she then decided to plot against the Bird family, and after coming into some money and property, because Wyatt is obviously a family member, and she inherited the Snell family property and their money, she uses that to her advantage and screw over the Bird family by buying their casino. It's all gravy for her, as we see her buying a house, getting a swimming pool, just somewhat enjoying life. And sadly, what goes up must come down, which was a real shame, as by the end of the show she was my favourite character. The nice thing about this, the ending, was we see the PI who's been a thorn in the Bird family's eye for quite some time. He finally cracked the case, Wendy's missing brother Ben, and it's interesting that they don't seem to be able to talk their way out of it. And it really does feel like they've been foiled, not by the FBI, not by the cartel, but by a PI in Chicago. But luckily that is not the case. Or should I say, showcase. If you know, you know. Yeah, when watching it, I will say it was a really good watch. I just personally felt like the ending was a bit too good for the Bird family. Like, they went for enough, but I felt like, personally, I'd like to have seen him gone for a little bit more. Still great. Is it good? It is very good. I definitely think it's a great watch, a great show entirely. Rating wise, I would say 8.5 out of 10. Alright, that's all I have to say.